in a way, this money that they make at the moment, unexpected as it was, can be ploughed back in almost immediately into making sure that we obtain more of our own gas and oil from the UK reserves, which are huge, and particularly also start to extract shale gas. We should get security of energy supply should be a priority for us, even through this pandemic, because being reliant on other countries, as Germany is finding to its cost because of the Russians and their invasion of Ukraine, and often others because of dubious countries, maybe in the Middle East, it's far better if we can get security of supply here, and we have plenty of it. And that requires investment from the private sector. So whatever else the government decides, and that's up to them, I think actually the key thing is they already have headroom to make these tax reductions, tax cuts, and to provide more money for those on low pay.
Well, so just finally then, why do you think they haven't been prepared to do that?
I think there is an element of groupthink, I'm afraid, going on in the Bank of England and in the Treasury. The Bank, because they should have been tackling inflation over a year ago, they carried on printing huge sums of money, what they call quantitative easing, which basically means they're buying up a huge amount of shares and bonds, etc., using our taxpayers' money. And so the reality is that they should have stopped that. That was pump priming inflation domestically. And also the Treasury now is worried that they think if you release more money into people's hands, that they will spend it. This will fuel inflation. But the truth is really that they've got this wrong, because domestic inflation isn't the significant problem here. After all, most of this spike is caused by the post-pandemic demand outstripping supply, and therefore we've got to try and provoke industry to provide more, to supply more, to be able to meet that demand, and that would get inflation down. But it's a global issue. Every other country is facing it. And of course the invasion of Ukraine by that brute Putin, but that has meant that the fuel and oil isn't reaching the West in the way that it was. And so that has also made supply shorter than demand. So getting that sorted out is critical, but a lot of it's outside of the UK. They worry that that will spike inflation. I don't think inflation is the problem right now, because it should now flatten towards the end of this year and plateau through a large chunk of next year before starting to come down. So raising inflation, rather raising interest rates, is the right thing to do at the moment. But you can't have high tax and high inflation, high interest rates, because that will be crippling to the economy. So get tax down.